Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast and happy 300th episode. This show has been a journey for the last almost 5 years since 2021 of helping you, singers, performers, creatives from around the world now pursue your creative dreams, feel confident in your performing skills, in your vocal skills. And I'm just so grateful that we've been able to do this together. Thank you to everyone who has ever shared this podcast with someone. Thank you for everyone who has ever, posted a review on the show, who has ever DM'd me and told me that you listened to the show and followed me and connected with me. Like, that is really, really meaningful. And I'm so excited to continue to do this together and find new ways to connect and to support you and to help you and to bring inspiring stories and interviews to you. This show has allowed me to speak with people and that I would never have been able to speak to, that I would never have been able to connect with, people who have helped me and inspired me, and hopefully helped and inspired you as well, and who some of you might have been able to connect with through this show. And so I'm really grateful to God for the opportunity to do this, and I'm grateful to you for the opportunity to connect with you and to share with you my journey. If you've been listening for a while or you've been listening closely, you have been able to hear my journey over time of how I was in medical school when I first started this, just dreaming of trying to be more creative and trying to reconnect to my creativity and help you guys do the same. And then I left and I decided to pursue a career in the arts and performing, and started training in voice teaching. And now here I am about to graduate from my master's in music and music education this spring. And it's just crazy that you have been with me on this entire journey, some of you. And so I really appreciate you for sticking with me and sticking with me through all the ups and downs, all the different kind of phases that the show has gone through. And if you don't know about those phases, you should take a journey back and listen and really see how it has been a process. It has been a journey. And I think that's really reflective of the creative life in general. It is a journey. It's not a clear, straight path. It is a process. We're all in process, and that's okay. And so if you have these big creative dreams like I had when I first started this podcast, and I just wanted a way to reconnect to my creativity while I was in medical school. I wanted a way to, I don't know, connect with other people who also wanted to be creative and just felt like they didn't know how to. I really wanted to connect with people like that. And so, yeah, if that is you and you also have this big dream of doing something creative, of being a singer, of being an actor, a performer, and fulfilling these big creative dreams, I want you to know that I'm right there with you. I know how hard it is to keep going when you are stuck in fear and shame around your career path or your big dream or your creative hobby that you really, really want to pour into. And I know how it feels to feel that doubt and to still want to move forward. Okay, and this show is really not only about building confidence in your singing voice, right? Because I am a voice teacher now, so I really do like to talk about technique and building confidence in the voice. However, it's also about building confidence in the desire that you have to sing, to act, to be on stage, to tell stories, to create, to have a creative life, period. Like, that is something that you have to build confidence in actively. Otherwise, you'll just give up, and a lot of people do. They start to take lessons, and then it just kind of fizzles out because there's a lot of self doubt, and it's really hard. It's really, really hard to keep going when you have this dream of becoming a singer, of becoming an actor, and leveling up in those areas. But then self doubt gets in the way, and you're like, I don't even know if I can do this, right? You have to keep going, and it's really hard to keep going. But the reason that you don't feel confident is not because you don't feel confident in your singing voice. Sometimes it's that you don't feel confident in the calling itself, in the desire that you have. You feel like it's not good that you feel this desire to be on stage. You feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with the fact that you really, really want to do theater. You really, really want to audition for things. You think that, what will people say? People are going to say that I'm crazy for wanting to, do theater. People are going to say that I'm weird for wanting to audition for this thing. We have to deal with that fear and that shame around creating. And that's what I want this show to lean more into in the future as we kind of enter this new era in our 300th episode now. I'm really excited about bringing on people, bringing on more interviewees. So if you have any recommendations, definitely let me know. But I'm really excited for a couple people who I have some episodes coming out for you guys soon that are going to be really, really inspiring. And I want to lean into this idea of like helping you move through the self doubt that you have been experiencing, not only around your voice, but around your path as a creative, around the fact that you want to be creating. And we have to deal with that fear. We have to deal with that shame around saying, I am a creative, I am an artist, like saying that out loud and letting people see you try and letting people see you be vulnerable as an artist. And so this show, I really want it to support you, not only in the technique around singing and performing and putting yourself out there, but in the mindset and in the heart posture of like not being stuck in fear. And for me, that always starts, you guys know, it starts with surrendering. It starts with journaling, praying, and surrendering to God. Like, this is the fear, this is the shame, this is the self doubt that I feel around this desire to be creative. But don't hold on to it, let it go. Surrender it to your creator. Surrender it and release it and acknowledge that, this was given to me. This desire to be creative, to be an artist, to be a performer was given to me as a gift from the God of the universe. And I am not going to back down. And really working through whatever fear that you have around being a creative is actually the first step before we ever get into the technique. It always starts with that. That's why like my first step for becoming a confident singer is to know your voice. And it's not just about knowing your voice, like the anatomy and how the voice works and all that, which is really important, but also know your voice, know why you want to sing, know who you are, and know why you are really wanting to develop this gift. So knowing yourself and working through whatever the mindset blocks, the limiting beliefs are, that is like the first step. That is like, and it's it's something that it's not like a one and done. We continue to do this. I continue to do this work. We all continue to do this. I felt a lot of fear and shame and doubt around this podcast. Like even to this day of like, oh, does anyone really care? Like, does anyone really want to hear this? Is anyone really listening? Like, I see the downloads, I see people are listening, but are they really listening? You have these doubts in your mind, and you have to just remind yourself, like, no, I know why I'm doing this. I know what this gift is. I surrender that fear and that doubt, and I'm not going to let that stop me, right? So that's what the show is going to help you do, and it's going to continue to be here for you. And not only starting with that mindset piece of dealing with the shame and fear and self-doubt around your desire to have a creative life and to build a creative career, a lot of you. But I also want to just keep encouraging you to make space to dream, to keep dreaming, to keep reminding yourself of what that dream was from the beginning. And maybe it's changed, it's evolved because you're a human being and it's going to evolve. But I want you to keep making that space for yourself to dream. When you have a moment where it's like a milestone, like this is like a milestone for my podcast. So I've given myself kind of space to be like, okay, what can we do next? Like, what can I try next? I'm asking you guys to ask me more questions. I want to connect with you guys because I want to know what you need next so that I can serve you better, right? I'm asking God, like, what can I do next? What do I focus on next? And so making that space to dream is something that I want this podcast to encourage you to do as well. I want you to feel that encouragement, that wind at your back, that like, okay, like I can move forward, I can do this. Let me actually sit down and take the time to think about what it is I want to do and to dream big. And then from there, after you've started to deal with whatever the fear and the shame is that you might be still dealing with around your creative dreams, and then you've made space to actually expand on those dreams, you've written down what that dream is, you have detailed it. Now this is where we start to get into the making the dream practical. This is when you start to write down, what do you want? Why do you want it? And what habits can you put in place to help you to accomplish this dream, to move towards this dream? And again, this is what this show is here to help you with. Not only dealing with the mindset and helping you to find space in your schedule, to encouraging you to make time and space for you to dream, but then to help you make those dreams practical. And this is something that I'm really excited. I think that the interviews will really help you with as I go back to doing more interviews in this new season of the podcast, in this new little era. I'm excited to help you just see and hear from different people who have made their dreams come true in different ways and who are still dreaming. And they're going to share how they've done what they've done. What are some of the steps that they have taken? What are some of the habits that they have so that you can start to make your dreams practical, right? So that you can kind of figure out, what do I want? Why do I want it? You know, that's your why. Your why is so important for when you want to give up, right? Knowing your why. But then what habits can I practically put into place starting today? Like, what can I, or if I already have habits, how can I keep being more consistent in them? How can I level them up even as needed? So making the dream practical is the next thing. So we've talked about dealing with fear and shame, right? Around your creative dream, right? You have to deal with that mindset piece around your creative dream. Because if you feel like you have to hide your creative dream, or you feel ashamed that you want to be an actor, you want to be in a local musical theater production, you feel ashamed that you want to go to auditions, right? And you're not really talking about it, sharing about it, you're not really asking for help, you know, that's going to keep you stuck a little bit. So dealing with that shame and that fear around your creative dream is number one. And then making space to actually like dream those dreams, write down those dreams and expand them is number two. Number three is, now you got to make the dream practical, you know, figure out what habits you need to put into place to fulfill the dream, right? So if you want to live a creative life, these are a few things that you got to implement. You got to implement these, and that's what the show is going to help you to continue to do. A few more things I want to share. After you've written down some things that are going to help you make the dream practical, right? Some habits to do, your why, and you've kind of clarified what you want. I want you to also now start to take action. You're going to start taking small steps of action, which I talk about all the time on this show. Small steps of action. Say it with me. Small steps of action. Okay. So what is one of the habits that you wrote down, that you thought about, that you would need to implement to make this dream practical? It's probably something that you've been thinking about and you've just been putting it off. Let's be so for real, because I know how that feels. Like, maybe you've been thinking, I really need to get into dance class, but I've just been putting it off. Like, I feel like it's too expensive and all these things. And those might be true practical barriers. But I want you to think about a way to make it work. So if you can't afford a dance class right now weekly, can you try one once a month, like a drop-in class at your local performing arts center or the closest studio next to you? Can you do a drop-in class? And when you go to that drop-in class, can you record the teacher doing the dance afterwards and then review that dance once a week on your own until you're able to come back the next month, right? That's like a way that you can practically take action without it being overwhelming. That's a small step of action. Does that make sense? So that's something that you could do. And because I want you to become not just confident in the skill of becoming a dancer, but building confidence in the dream of saying that, like, I really want to level up as a dancer. I really want to add this as one of my skills as a performer. That when you feel confident in that fact and you're not backing down from that, that's going to help you to be really intentional about your action steps. And it comes from actually starting to take the action. Like, you're not going to feel so confident in it before, not necessarily before you take the action. Sometimes taking courageous action is what is going to build your confidence. In fact, pretty much all the time, from my experience, I have to take courageous, scary action steps, even if it's small, before I really feel confident in the thing that I want to do, usually. And so I want you to take action. That's the fourth thing. And then a couple more things I want you to think about if you are really, really serious about pursuing this dream of having a creative life, a life full of art, a life full of music, theater, and the arts. So this next thing is really important, really important. So it's hard for me to even hear sometimes, but I know I need to. This one is that you need to expect to fail at some point, but plan to keep going. Expect that you're going to fail at some point, but plan to keep going. So ahead of time, maybe this should be before you start taking action, but it's okay. These are not like necessarily prescriptive. These are things we all have to do. So even as you're starting to take action, you're taking courageous action, maybe you are about to take that dance class, know that you're going to fail. You're going to mess up a step in the class. You're not going to get it immediately, right? You might feel kind of silly at first because you haven't been in that class before and you don't know the teacher, you don't know the warm-up, you don't know the rest of the students, right? So expect that you're going to fail. Expect that you're going to miss a class because of life, right? And you don't let that make you feel bad. Instead, just know that you're still going to keep going. Plan ahead of time that I know I'm going to mess up. I know at some point I'm probably going to fail, quote unquote fail, right? Because what is failure really? It's just being human. It's just the fact that we're human beings and nothing is going to work out perfectly exactly as we planned ever. But if we can expect that we're going to quote unquote fail, but we know that we're still going to keep going, then it's already done. It's a fait accompli. It's already accomplished. You don't even have to worry about the failure. You know you're going to keep going. You've already decided. That's why I emphasize so much. Recently, I've been talking a lot about you have to decide. When you have made the decision, I'm going for this creative dream, come hell or high water, by hook or by crook, by fire or storm. Like, I don't care. I'm doing this, point blank and period. When you have made that decision, you can plan to keep going no matter what failures you experience along the way. And that is what helps you to keep going. Trust me, in almost 5 years of doing this podcast, I have wanted to quit many times. I'm not even going to lie. Okay. I have felt like a failure on this show with this podcast, talking to you guys many, many times. But because I already decided, I already knew that I wanted to do this. And I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't going to be like immediate success. Like, everyone's going to be talking about the show. Like, no, I knew that wasn't going to happen. It's a very niche topic, and, not everyone who listens to the show shares it. Not everyone, but I had already decided. And until God tells me to stop, I'm going to keep going. It's a fait accompli. It's already done. It's already done. And I want you to have that same mindset for your creative dream, that you are going to keep going in spite of the failure. And then the final thing is something that I'm still working on and that I'm still learning. And I'm actually really, really excited to keep learning it with you guys. And that is to connect, connect, connect. Okay. If you want to reach that creative dream, you cannot do it alone. Connecting with other people who also are pursuing creative dreams is literally just so much more important than I feel like I've given weight to in my own life. And I'm working on changing that. My word for the year, I don't know if I've shared it with you guys yet, but I have two words, and they are community and connection. Community and connection. So I guess three words because it's like a phrase. So my phrase of the year is community and connection. So really leaning on my community as a person, my family, my loved ones, my friends, and also connecting with people on a deeper level. And that includes you guys, like connecting with my podcast listeners, connecting with people in this field, connecting with fellow actors and singers and performers. I'm really focusing on my relationships. In this year, I'm wanting to focus on making deeper connections and just connecting with as many people as possible who are inspiring to me, who are challenging me, who I can help and I can be a blessing to, and vice versa. And so I want to encourage you to also connect as much as you possibly can. Ask questions. Ask people questions. If you hear someone on this show who has inspired you, reach out to them. I usually ask them to share their information at the very end of the show because I know that you guys are going to want to connect with them. And if you haven't connected with anyone who you've heard on the show who has inspired you, go and connect with them right now and tell them that their episode on the show inspired you. This is so helpful to those who come on the show. You know, they're giving up their time and energy to come and to chat with me and to share it with thousands and hundreds and thousands of people around the world, which is so beautiful. And so I want them to feel really loved and appreciated. And so if you hear anyone on the show who inspires you, I encourage you to go and connect with them, DM them that you enjoyed their conversation, their interview on the show. Just make it like a habit to keep connecting with people as an artist. So when you go to that dance class, you know, don't just leave immediately afterwards. If you can, stay behind, say hi to the dance teacher. Ask them how long they've been teaching, you know, make a little connection there. Say hi to someone in the class, even if it's just one person. That could be your little dance class buddy, you know, and you can ask them to maybe send you a video of the next week's dance combo in case you're not able to make it, right? So connecting with people everywhere that you go as much as you can, even if it's small. You know, even I went to an audition recently where I had to leave pretty quickly afterwards, but I still was able to talk to one of the directors there who I knew. We were able to chat a little bit. And then like there was another casting director who I saw like as I was walking out, and like we said a little hello. It was just that little small connection, right? And I saw another fellow actor and we were both like kind of cheering each other on, and it was just a little small interactive moment. So even if it's small, find ways to connect. So those are a few things that I'm really excited about diving into with this show in this new era as we are in our 300s, the 300s of the episodes. And as you are also pursuing your creative dream, these are a few things to keep in mind. So deal with that, whatever that self-doubt is around your creative dream. Start to work through that, journal through that, pray through that. Make space to dream more. And then make the dream practical. Write down practical habits that you need to implement. Then start taking action. And then expect that you're going to quote unquote fail, but plan to keep going. And finally, make sure that you stay connected. Connect with as many other artists as you possibly can on this journey. And I know that you can do it. I'm so excited that you are with me on this journey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you didn't listen, you know, I would be talking to no one. So I just am so grateful that you listen to this show, that it helps you, that you come back every week. It means so, so much. And I'm so grateful that you are implementing what you're hearing and you're seeing it impact your life. And that's how we made it to 300 episodes. And I'm so excited to be here with you for the next 300. until the Lord says no. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the Performing Arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.